Welcome to another episode of Ron Tomkins' attempts to play chess. We're gonna watch a game that I just played today, and it's a little example of how things can go very wrong, and then you may see some light at the end of the tunnel. So I started with d4. I was going for the London system. My opponent played e6. Bishop to f4, c5, e3, knight to c6, c3, knight to f6, knight to d2, d5. This was the first instance where I thought, well, okay, should I capture that pawn on c5? I don't know. I eventually said no. I went for bishop d3 and immediately regretted it because I thought, now I gave him c4. And that's not looking good. He could do c4 and he would have a very nice pawn structure there. But he went for queen e7. And, alright. I continue with a3 to prevent knight to b4. And then e5, and by now I'm thinking, okay, well, he's got a strong center there with the pawns. I could back up with the bishop, or I could capture with pawn. He captures with knight. And this is where I blundered for the first time, because I totally missed that he has knight captures on d3. Check. And I did knight to knight to g to f3. And so of course he captured, and that's where I went. Oh crap. Move the king to e2. He captured my bishop. Check. And I went, oh crap. Double crap, because I can't capture the knight with the pawn because the pawn is pinned by the queen. King to e1. Knight captures on g2. Triple crap. Check. And now he won a pawn. King to e2. Knight to f4. Check. Crap. I mean, he's dominating me. King to f1. Bishop to h3. Check. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. At this point, I would be like, well, just quit. No, I don't mean the game. Just quit chess. Just give up the idea that you can play this game, because this is clearly not going well. But I didn't quit. I went king e1. Knight to d3 check. And I'm like, Jesus. Just check, 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 check. I've lost count of how many checks already. King to e2. Knight captures on b2. Winning another pawn. But then at this point I was like, okay, he may not actually have a plan. He just saw an opportunity on my blunder when I didn't defend d3. And of course, you know, like a domino effect, one thing lead to another, and he kept capturing. But at this point, I just got a feeling that, well, maybe he doesn't quite have a plan, because what are you going to do now? So I went to queen b1, defending the d3 in case the knight wants to go back there. Okay, pawn d4 takes with pawn from c3. He captured, and I capture the knight, because I figure if he captures that pawn, I'll capture with a pawn, because even though my pawn is pinned, I have that pawn to defend. Of course he captured, because you can tell he's one of those happy capturers. They just like to capture. Just love taking pieces. Alright, capture with a pawn. Bishop to g4, h3 attacking the bishop. Bishop takes knight. Alright, I take the bishop with a knight. Knight to d5, threatening queen captures. And I wouldn't be able to capture because it's being defended by the knight. So queen to b3. b6, preventing queen takes on b7. Rook from a to d1, attacking the knight and planning some possible, you know, checks here if they ever become possible. I don't know, because I'm not that great of a chess player. Knight to f4, check. king to f2, knight to g6, queen to d5. Once again, preparing some double attacks here in the d7 square. Uh-oh, rook to d8, attacking my queen. Retreat. Queen to b3. Queen to c7. I wasn't quite sure if this had, if there was any goal behind this. So I proceeded to just attack. And check. Rook captures on d8. Queen captures on d8. Queen to c2. Queen to h4 check. But again, I'm not seeing any any strategy behind this. I'm just at this point I'm just getting the feeling that he loves to check whenever he gets a chance and he loves to capture. But he doesn't necessarily have a strategy in mind. King to e2, queen to e7, and then at this point I thought, okay, I just saw that the queen is in front of the king, and if I could get the rook over here on the e4 square, pinning the queen, that would be really nice. So, of course, I am a few moves away from doing that. Rook would have to go to either d1 or g1, and then move to the fourth rank, and only then it would be able to move to the e. So I just had that in the back of my mind. Rook to d1 is what I did, with the idea of going to d4 and e4. Knight to e5. So far so good. Nothing stopping me. Knight captures. Queen captures. Rook to d4. Now all I have to do is move to this square. Let's see if he doesn't do something. No. Actually, that's not stopping me at all. Because now rook to e4 and black resigned. So despite the fact that right here, I was in big trouble. And everything that came after here seemed like just disaster, disaster, disaster. Eventually, after the dust settled, I ended up here. So let that be a lesson to you, amateur chess player. Don't be discouraged by the fact that you are an amateur. If you have a tactical idea, even if it seems like you will never get there, and in this case, my tactical idea was placing the rook on e4 to pin the queen and win a queen. If you have a tactical idea, well, don't give up the idea of pursuing that plan, because your opponent may not realize. Thank you. That was Ron Tomkins Chess Tutorials. Stick around for more in the near future. Bye-bye.